Guess what? I'm Captain Tommy Scoville, and this here is my brother, the famous legend, Johnny Scoville. Yeah, I got the...
You know, I really don't like when you do that.
I know, but I have so much fun with it. I'm not going to stop. So you, he rubs Butterbean like a genie. I was on an airplane with Butterbean once.
I remember that.
Yeah, he was a big, big man.
Super nice dude.
Very, very kind. He talked to everybody, but not...
Do you remember the time we were in Disneyland and we're in the line at Thunder? Was it Thunder? It was. And I said, dude, don't look behind us. Don't make a big deal. But Danny DeVito and Rhea Perlman are behind us, and they're like waist high.
2 seconds later,
you're looking back there and seeing them. Anyway, we get on the thing. We didn't make a big deal of it. Didn't say anything. As we're leaving, he walks up to us and goes, "Hey, thank you."
Yeah.
And turned around and walked away.
And then
like, now I want your autograph.
Yeah. And then about 5 minutes later, they actually came on and said that it was his day at the park.
I remember that.
Yeah, which was kind of cool. Balake, good to see you. Let's do a little roll call. Hanik Alexander, one of my favorite people. Subi, I'm glad you're here. Queen of Awkwardness. Jen Marie, Mischief Managed. Did you say something about Mischief Managed and me not knowing where that came from? I'm a little offended. I have a daughter who is an absolute Harry Potter nerd. Of course I know where that came from. It would be that silly Marauder map.
Prisoner of Azkaban. Pretty sure.
Which one was this here? Do we know what he's talking about?
Yeah, that scene with Johnny and Jimmy in the hotel room was classic. The ending scene of the episode was great. Thank you.
Yeah.
You know what we did so much you guys didn't see? We were going to do it that he brought it in a case. And when we first started doing it, we were just opening up and I said, who saw Pulp Fiction? That's all I said. They would get a light. And they brought like 3 or 4 different lights in, and we were going to do that a la Pulp Fiction, but that the way they did it,
that would
is the way they did it.
Yeah,
it was funny. It was definitely cloak and dagger sort of stuff. Like,
yeah, well, that's always the way it is. They don't want to let anything out. I mean, I completely understand that.
And Jimmy is the Duke of Paranoia. I mean,
I wasn't gonna say anything.
I like the guy. Listen, he's my friend, but he is.
Oh yeah. So it's always interesting when something like this comes out because there's a lot of people whose egos get brushed. You know, there are people who think, "Oh, I'm a huge part of this," right? And then they get edited out. I remember someone that was good to see you, my man, Zach. There was somebody that filmed with us, and we just assumed he was not in the same scene, but he was there every day at the same time, and we just assumed we would see him. And apparently, he was not an integral part of the script, so he ended up on the cutting room floor. They make 4 or 5 hours worth of film, and then they got to cut it down to about what, hour and 45 minutes,
something like that.
Yeah.
So listen, this is great. Check this out. My mother has decided Johnny definitely has issues, and you know what?
Smart woman.
Indeed.
Yeah, she's played before. You know what, though? They're not horrible issues.
Oh, if you knew the way they used to be. Oh,
sure. Far be it from me, right?
Okay.
I'm not the kind of person that people say, that Tommy Scoville likes to rub it in. You know what I mean? He likes to take a victory lap and things like that. I'm not that person, and I want everybody to understand that.
But are you going to take a victory lap?
No.
Okay.
No, I'm classier than that. But
victory lap.
But there's this short dude. He's kind of got this David Miscavige look going to him, and he's not liked me for a really, really long time. I've never met the dude. Got no idea why he doesn't like me. But the irony is that he rents a decent amount of space, in his dome for me to live in. And I got
I feel bad for people.
I do feel bad for the cat. I really do. Other than the fact that he's a racist piece of crap, but he's miserable. And I would imagine that the success of your show is probably really bumming him out. And the Lifeboat's doing pretty well. We're actually helping people. I'm sure that bums him out. But I'm not happy that these people are miserable, because of the success. I don't take joy in that. I can't back that up, man. I take so much joy in that. I can't
Papa
tell you.
Scoville said the best revenge was living well.
I'm sorry, man. For real, I don't watch any trolls. That's the gospel truth. But I will go by to see the the number of views. and you go, oh man, the guy called me, one of those terrible names they called everybody on South Park, just horrific names. And I'll go by and go, oh man, 32 people saw that.
Listen to this. I didn't tell you this. I forgot. I've got a connection at Hulu, and they have the analytics to how the show's done, and they're going to let me know how it's done.
Really? Oh, that would be really interesting.
I'm dying to know.
Biz, good to see you.
Bizzle, my
Dip me in the glitter. Very cool.
That's a pretty good name.
Yeah, I like the handle, right? You can see that. Yeah, I can see that. Can't you see that? Susan Morton. Lene. Ponko. Christina Leone. I feel like I just saw you a minute ago. Christina, were you over on the last show that I was on? I think you were. By the way, since we got that elephant in the room, I'll talk about it real quick. I never wanted to stop communicating, and I've kind of made that clear. My feelings got really hurt at the end of our last live feed when she said that she didn't think we could be friends. That hurt me. I am of the firm belief that unless you burn a massive bridge, unless you do something so cruel, that it's a mean person thing, then it's just a matter of communicating, right? And I thought that if we could communicate better, we could get along great, because we do laugh and we do have a lot of fun together. And she is, you know what, Andrew? I'm going to miss Full of Hope as well. I really am. And you may not believe this, and if you're offended by religion, then I apologize. I really do. But there has not been a day from the day I met that woman that I do not pray for her multiple times a day. I care about her more than you can possibly imagine. But since we're doing this, it kind of has to be done. If somebody comes in here and pretends to be somebody else, if they create a fake character for the purpose of hurting somebody in the chat, I can't have them. And the amazing thing is, it happened more than once, right? And there had been warnings about it, but that's manipulation. And manipulation of people who are trying to get sober can't happen. I'm holding out hope. And praying every day that, you know what, it's going to be back. I'll tell you what we're talking about.
MJ, you're adorable.
You know what? I'll tell you what we're talking about. Here's the thing. It's everybody's business to an extent, because I'm not going to tell you the name of the person, right? I'm not going to. But what happened is that this person has sock accounts, and they like to come on under a different name and harass people that they had problems with in the past. And that is difficult to forgive. Nothing's unforgivable, I promise you. But until that gets taken care of, I'm not risking people coming in here and messing with my crew. I mean, you want to call me a piece of trash, do that. But the people who come here to listen are people that really want to move forward. And God forbid that somebody scares that person off. I wouldn't be able to live with myself. So for those reasons, we got to be careful on certain things, but it's never done maliciously. I shouldn't say
Neo fighter.
I shouldn't say that. Sometimes it's done absolutely. You know what?
Thank you, dude.
Back up, Rosemary. I'm sorry. Back up and listen to it, because I have the potential to tell this story 11 times and not do a boat. Right? Tell you what, everybody pay attention. This is it. What happened was, I love her. We're very close friends, and we had a closer friendship than you can imagine. Please do. Check the fire.
Yep.
We had a closer friendship than you can imagine, and she did massive amounts to help the lifeboat. Then she created a couple of sock accounts and said some things to people in the chat to hurt them. And I did not believe that perhaps this was that person. In fact, when people told me that, I said, I don't believe that, and I'm not going to assume that. And then I got an email from that person that said, yeah, that was me. Okay, well, that manipulation and that kind of stuff, it can't happen here. It can't happen here. That's dope fiend stuff. That's the stuff we do when we're on dope. And so often we can get clean. And I don't believe she's a mean person. I believe she's struggling, but I don't believe she's a mean person. But the actions would lead you to believe that she is. I am looking forward to her being back, and I believe that will happen. But the things that we do, we have to be accountable for the things that we do, and that had to happen. And I'm not going to lie to you, people. I'm not going to lie to you. I spent 72 hours after that happened not sleeping. Right? That tore me up. It tore me up. By the way, I did not block her. Someone else did. But I stand by the wrenches every single time somebody does it. You know, that is something that if you don't stand by your wrenches.
Man, you know what? I didn't mean to do that. I meant to go back.
Sock accounts are people that build multiple accounts so that they can come on under different names. And in doing so can change, you know, the tone. You won't know you're talking to multiple people. Super Hot Season 2, Neophyter, Johnny Scoville, Tommy the Captain, Uncle Bull Cow, Jimmy Pickles, many more. I hope to get in this and give some knowledge. I don't see me in this, Neophyter. The rest of you, I'm sure, have a shot at Season 2. I will not.
Thank you so much, Neo, though.
Yeah. And you know what? I'll keep it real. It's not the pepper thing, because I would be more than happy to burn, right? I'd be more than happy to do that. And but you know, the last thing in the world I would want to do is bring a bad reputation to to anything we're doing.
Everybody in the chili world's got
listen
a
to
bad
me.
reputation.
No, listen to me and keep it real, because you know this to be a fact, right? If you got felonies, they will not let you get into these things. And for obvious reasons, they don't want to risk something, right? Well, I got, let's just say I got a few of them, right? A baker's dozen or two. There you go.
JB, does Johnny feel harassed by me yet? Not even a little.
If so,
hey, I've had harassment.
If so, he hasn't mentioned that. He said Anik Alexander was the one that was. I'm just kidding. I love Anik. That's why I thought I would pick on
Product of the 60s. My mobile carrier is offering Hulu as part of my plan starting tomorrow, so we'll get to see the show. How
nice.
Cool.
I think you'll dig it.
Thank you so much. I hope you enjoy it.
I really think you'll dig it. You can't go that fast, Johnny.
I was to make sure I didn't miss any super chats.
You know what'll happen? I got a headache from going that fast.
Oh, you did that.
I'm sorry. I got
some emails of people, and some people are posting stuff saying that it was a scripted show and the whole thing was fake. I promise you, nobody in that show is an actor. Nobody, nothing was fake.
No, nothing was fake. I'll tell you something else. I would like to thank the people that were over in the other chat that were very kind to me. I know that there seems to be a camp, you know, the Tommy camp and the Reese camp. You may not believe this. I'd rather shut down my channel than have a Tommy camp and a Reese camp. I'd rather not do this. If I make friends with people, I'm never going to be a mother effing troll. And that's what they do. They start to fight with one another. And people, you can go back. I don't say harsh things about people I like, even if we're not getting along. And there are people right now there are people right now in the anti-Scientology community that do not like me, but are classy enough to never say that out loud because they do not want to damage the fight, right? Circular firing squads are bad. Never fight among the family, right? So there are people that put on a good show in public, and I think that's awesome. I really do. I think that's awesome, but I don't want to do that with friends, the people that I actually do feel a connection to. I don't want to be that person. Booyah. Thoughts and prayers, please. Good stuff. Good stuff. You never know what someone else is going through or fighting in their lives. Be kind. If you can't be kind, simply keep your mouth shut. And don't make the mistake that I did, right? This is the hardest thing as a drug addict, as a recovering drug addict. The hardest thing is to sit down with somebody and say, let me tell you about, you know, who and what I am. Let me tell you how I got here. And let me tell you how I am going to be different from people for the rest of my life. There are things about me that are always going to make me different. And they're the kind of things that if you're going to be going forward in a relationship, not just the communication stuff, like I got a California king, right? Got a really, really big bed. I sleep on this much of it. And for the rest of my life, I will sleep on this much of it. I cannot roll over past that. Well, that's a really odd thing if you sleep in a bed with somebody, right? That's something that's going to take a little getting used to. But my brain tells me that if I roll over 18 inches, I'm going to be on the floor, right? Maybe off a top bunk. So you do a pivot, your hand goes down, and that's how you roll over. And even when you leave, you can't stop that. That's just something that is very, very real, unfortunately. That could be. What do you think?
Hang on. I have a feeling someone leaked to Ed that the Primo is going to blow the Reaper out of the water and finally bring the Pepper X. No, because here's the thing. In the show, nobody had any idea what was going to be the hottest. And the fact of the matter is, Tom Broom had a pepper called the Omega Pod. That was the hottest pod that I ate throughout that reality show. But the problem is he wasn't able to come up with enough. It was they started the show at the wrong time of the year. So it's all the pods was the wrong time of year. So when they had all these growers had to submit their powder, they needed a certain amount to get the testing done. And Tom was not able to. So he did not get the hottest pepper wasn't tested, in my opinion. And I was the one who was eating them. So, I mean, but no, nobody was working with Ed at all. Ed does what Ed does because Ed's Ed. But I think Ed released Pepper X when he did to try to throw off the show. I believe that.
I think that's logical.
And I think if it's funny because it helped the show. It made everybody, hey, let's look at peppers. It was a beautiful thing.
Lisa says, I like to camp on my own. Where I stay out of is nobody's business. Well, I mean, you put it like that. I was about to ask you where you camped out. You know what I mean? I thought, I like that part.
I like staying out of everybody's business.
Man, but maybe I'd swap. I love camping. I thought I would just come over and maybe play some Boggle. You ever play Boggle?
Do you know the Boggle? I'd Boggle.
You do know the Boggle? What's another one that's fun is the
backgammon.
Backgammon's good, but that's not fair because I am gifted at backgammon. I was thinking the other one with the dice, the thing. Yahtzee. Can't go wrong with Yahtzee.
And
Lumen, I love that because there doesn't need to be a camp. You know what I mean? I never trashed her. I never said anything bad about her. And people wanted to turn it into something like that. And you know what? Now that we're all getting along, it's a kick in the junk when you get 200 and some odd people leave in 40 minutes. Especially if you really honestly feel like, you know what, I'm not a guy that goes out of my way to treat women bad. Like I kind of have a reputation for not being that dude.
I think every channel has the potential to be different, but I know that on my channel, because I've had people tell me they'll unsub because I say something they don't like. They don't stop watching videos. In my channel anyway, they don't stop watching videos. That's their way of spanking me, publicly chastising me. I'm unsubbing. I didn't do this to get subs, so it doesn't really matter to me. I mean, it really doesn't.
I get that.
As long as I have 1,000, that's how I get paid. But
this is a word that comes up a lot. A lot of people say the energy that's between the two of us. That's a word a lot of people say. I enjoy doing shows with Reese, and I think that deep down Reese enjoys doing shows with me. And you can't fake that stuff. Like I have a good time farting around with my brother. We've been laughing and acting stupid for years. So this is just, but the people I just meet, I don't trust people. So it was really odd that I had such a good time doing what I did with on her show. It was a bummer that, there's outside influences when you do what we do. It's such a bizarre thing, right? This is nobody normal deals with any of this stuff, right? There's tons of people that want to tell you what you're doing is wrong and why the person you're talking to is a loser. And it's usually people who are friends with the other creator. And you just go, oh my God, but I don't want to make a list and send it over there because I've watched channels get destroyed that way. So I go, okay. But then the audience is involved, go, oh yeah, he's a dirtbag. He should be back here fighting and doing this and that. And truth is, I just was trying to not hurt anybody. That whether you believe it or not, that's what I was going for. Uh-oh. I follow Reese and you. I love you both. I started following your brother. From you. I'm not a chili head, but I like watching people do crazy stuff. I don't have the chest balls to ever do. The vast majority of people that watch what Johnny does are not going to try to do what Johnny does. They're fascinated by somebody that takes what's probably the worst pain in the entire world and every single day pushes to the limit of that pain and then beyond. That's fascinating, right? I don't care what you do. You get in freezing cold water, right? You go and run ultra marathons, but if what you do is find the level of pain that everyone on earth goes, all right, I'm tapping out, and you go, oh hell no. right? When every single nerve ending in your body is screaming, you can quit. No one's going to give you any crap for it. And there's a different part of your brain that goes, oh, I'm not quitting this. Like, you can carry me out, but I'm going to finish this stuff.
That makes me sound damaged, man. I'm just saying.
You're not normal. You know what, Awakened? That's actually it's pretty astute. It really is. It's pretty astute, and it's not something that ran through my dome. But yeah, I mean, when you have a couple of content creators and you spend a lot of time listening to both of them, I could see where it would be like, oh crap, the mom and dad thing are fighting. And considering so many people had massive flashbacks to that in their youth, I would imagine that that's a trigger as well.
Well, not only that, this whole phenomenon is so different than, like, a lot of us people grew up when you were younger, there was cable TV. If you had a show you liked, even if you liked a lot, you followed it, you couldn't interact with the people on the show like you do this. So you have an opportunity to build a connection with content creators on platforms like this in a way you never even could have dreamed of, unless you were stalking somebody and like I hung out with at their apartment when they left or their house or something. That was impossible. And now there's access in ways it hasn't been. And that's interesting. It gives people the ability to feel a greater bond and a greater connection, I think.
Yeah. It's what we do is really unique. It really is unique because we come on here and we open ourselves up in ways that I think other channels don't. And you know what? Really cool things happen. If you come out here and you say, I'm going to be super honest about my emotions, I'm going to be super honest about my fears, I'm going to tell you about the things I did in my past and who it hurt and how that makes me feel, it creates a very serious relationship with the audience. And that's really, really cool. It also creates an audience that that kind of takes ownership.
Right. And they move to the point where they begin doing that.
And it's cool when they own the boat because you want them to. And I preached that from the beginning. This is your boat. Unfortunately, you get to the point where you're their captain in a different way. Like, here's what you need to do. And I mean, I get emails from people that say, you need to do a show on this. And I'm leaving town. Can you get it done by Wednesday? And you just go, wow. You know what I mean? Like maybe I actually had a couple of things lined up, or maybe, maybe that's a tall order. I usually am trying to put something together for one particular person or two particular people who have reached out to me. I don't randomly just pick this stuff. But it's an experiment, people. And if everybody can treat it that way, if everybody can just act like, you know what, we know this is different. It is, right? This isn't content creating. And you know why I know that? So I was a content creator over on Instagram and I got to what, 10, 12,000. I got a big following in like 90, 100 days. It just took off. And then it started to not feel right. It started to get to the point where it wasn't positive, it was negative. And I went, bye. I locked the door and walked away and have not put a post up for years until yesterday because I was pretty proud of my brother and his show. So I did put up a post of a picture of Johnny, but I don't get into it anymore. And I used to really get into it. I really enjoyed it. But there's a lot of people out there that can destroy anything good. This is a very famous joke that people talk about in prison. It's a very big deal, right? No matter what they give you, right? No matter what they give you, the inmates will mess it up, right? Every inmate in the world's favorite cereal is Tony the Tiger, right? Frosted Flakes. Every inmate's favorite
because of the sugar, or
because of the sugar primarily, but they dig Frosted Flakes. So somebody that we were in there with filed a paper all the way to the Supreme Court that said, we're supposed to get 2 hot meals a day. We get a bag lunch, right? That's not hot. And then we get a hot dinner and the breakfast is a cereal and they're not heating it. So we're getting screwed and we want a class action suit. Do you know what the BOP did? They didn't get rid of that cereal. They poured hot water on it. And they let it soak into a paste. And that's what we got for almost a year.
That's crazy.
And it became a standing running joke that if anything is going halfway decent, don't let an inmate talk to anybody, right? Because they will destroy everything that you're trying to do. An inmate can mess things up in 30 seconds flat, right? anything good going on, they're going to be the ones to destroy it. It's we're in a social experiment that no one's ever done. You realize that. Even on YouTube, what we do is so unique. It really is. It's so unique. It's the Seinfeld kind of stuff. Obviously, drugs are a big part of what I talk about, right? Anti-cult stuff's a big part of what I talk about. But the connection doesn't have to be pigeonholed into anything. You know, if you're rebuilding cars, talk to the people in your car club and ask questions. You know, people say all the time, oh man, I wouldn't know what to say. I couldn't come up with anything smart to say if I talked to that person. No, I bet you money you couldn't. Right? You won't have all the answers. How long have you been sober? Why would you have all the answers? But I'll tell you something. If you can get 5 questions down, if you can ask the right 5 questions, then you're probably going to save this person's life, because the questions are meant to be, you know, are meant to bring in a friend, not push people away. You know, are you all right?
Dialogue, which is everything. I've called you before. I'm like struggling, and just talking about it after 5 minutes, I'm like, man, I'm sorry, I'm good.
Yeah.
Just, you know, it's communication is everything.
And we cut off, right? When the shit hits the fan, what's the first thing we do? We go like this. We back up into ourselves, right? We bring everything back in, and we don't communicate with anybody. And when we don't communicate with anybody, we start getting into very serious issues, right?
Sorry.
No, just knock that over. Set it anywhere you want there, Johnny Scoble. Truth be told, people, we're going to thrive as a channel. We are absolutely going to thrive as a channel. I'm going to tell you something right now. The day is coming, and it's not a long time away, where there's going to be 3,500 to 5,500 people in the chat. It's not going to stop what you're doing, I promise, because the vast majority do not want to do what you're doing. They don't. There'll be some people that wander in and out, but it's going to be the exact same show, but it's going to be the same show with a lot more people. It's something that I feel very, very strongly about, and we're putting things into place to grow it bigger and to have people in place to make sure that growth doesn't hurt us. We were talking about this today. Because of how we were able to sell back in the day, we destroyed 5 or 6 businesses by putting so many applications in or so many orders in that they just went, we can't do it. And now we have to refund all these people and pay penalties. We're out of business. I mean, we've blown up companies that way, and we've learned. We've learned.
Trial and error.
People, I want every one of you. I swear to God, I want every single one of you here, right? Every one of you for the next 12 months. You don't have to be here every day. You don't have to punch a clock. I'm not going to bust your chops, but it's super important for you to get a good look at where we're at. Get a good look at how this works and look around, because 12 months from today, you will recognize the faces on this boat. You will recognize nothing else. And we will have a backup plan. If the big red button decides that, we don't like convicts making content, we will have another platform or two to go to. We're putting this into place. This is not something that's going to die. This isn't a hobby. You guys get that? This isn't a hobby. I came to the realization that if I didn't do this, then I wasted the first 46 years of my life. I pissed away every opportunity I ever had. Or I learned a hell of a lot in 46 years about how not to be a man. The goal is to try to keep people from having to take 45 years to realize what it is to be a man, right? Or a woman. The safe word was a good idea. It is. And the last thing ever I would do is rehash anything without her being here. I would want her to have an opinion, you know. The communication really is the thing. And I try really hard to communicate. It's something that I pride myself on. And I think if you've watched the show for any length of time, it's pretty damn rare that I start getting real lippy and real angry. When I'm upset, I tend to do the opposite. I tend to try to slow down and kind of get cerebral, because I have found that if I allow the vagus nerve to start doing its thing, I don't make good decisions. right? When adrenaline starts pumping through my body and all the other cocktails to get me ready for fight or flight, the flight doesn't get a lot of effort, right? But the fight does. And not saying I'm the best at it in the world either. I've gotten tuned up. I've had some real bad butt kickings over the years. I promise. But I believe that we can all get along. In fact, I'm going to blow a friggin' O-ring if we can't. Not something I'm not going to let her walk away. I'm not going to let her say we can't be friends and all that crap. We're going to be friends. And if anybody in the comment section tries to sabotage that, I will block you. I will block your family. I will block your dog, people who you knew, where you shop. All right. I will make sure that no one that you've ever met will come on the boat. I just can't have that stuff on here. Right. We're fighting through heavy stuff. I don't need anybody being a jackass. What were you going to say, my brother? Question for Johnny. What do you think the best hot sauce heat flavor ratio is? Which is your favorite to use?
You know, I'm typecast as the guy that only likes to get burned chili, but my go-to sauce, if I'm just eating, is medium heat. You got to find out what's right for you. There's 100 million sauces out there, and that's the beauty of it, is everyone tastes different. It's like being a wine connoisseur, but dabble in sauce. There's a million good ones out there. Yep. Find what you like.
Yep. Jen Marie, I love this question. I really do. I love this question. And over the long time that I've been doing this is one of those questions that I get asked a lot because people assume it's almost impossible to find. So I will tell you what I consider a normie to be. If a normie is not spending money, right, daily to use a substance or a habit to knock off the highs and the lows and to put you in that default setting of, I got no money, I'm miserable, but I'm holding on for the next high, or I'm holding on for the next bet, or I'm holding on for the next any of those, right? There are people out there who have never experienced any of that. Am I saying they're normal? Hell no. I promise you they've got symptoms, right? But I can't work with those people very well, right? It's not my bailiwick, man. I've read the books, but I do not feel comfortable spending a lot of time working with people with mental illness. God forbid something happened, I would blame myself forever. Alcohol, drugs, delirium tremens, all of those things. That was my life for so long that I don't need to brush up. I don't need to study. I mean, I do. I read every article that comes out, but this was me for decades, man. Just decades upon decades. I know how it's packaged. I know what part of I know where it's made. I know how they get it across the border. Like, I was involved in every aspect of the drug trade at one time or another in my life. Every aspect. Unfortunately, I'm not in it anymore. My issue is when someone carries hate from one religion to cover all. You know, it's a hard thing because, you know, God forbid you at the age of 4 were pulled into a cult, and that was your point of reference to the age of 18 or 19, right? That there's nothing on this planet that makes sense. At 19, they go, everything you learned was BS. Let's start from scratch.
And trust no one.
Trust no one, right? And trust no one. So those people very often, if you say, oh, well, you know, so-and-so is a Catholic, instantly you'll hear them. And I am friends with a lot of second gens, and you get this a lot. Man, F that church. And it doesn't matter what church, because in their head, religion and cult is synonymous, right? And even if it's not cult-like, they're still trying to get over on you. They're still trying to get your money. They're still trying to, and there are people who believe that. So I do understand why, you know, people feel that way. It has not been my experience, but I am the pickiest man in the entire world. If I go someplace and get an unusual feeling in the parking lot, I leave, right? I don't do well, it's almost perfect. No, if I don't feel fantastic, I don't want anything to do with it. I want to feel like I can trust people on all of the major issues. That makes sense?
It does.
I show love. And yes, I do get frustrated, but I do love and show respect to others because I wear short sleeves and shorts all year. And I live in North Carolina. I'm always spicy and hot. I like it. I do. I absolutely love it.
Yeah.
Respect is a beautiful thing, and it is the greatest gift that prison will give you.
I bet.
I promise. You will respect your enemies. You will respect everybody, and you will treat them as such. Because if you don't, they're going to hurt you, and they're going to hurt you quickly. And there's not going to be any discussion. It's a kind of violence that you don't see in street fights. It's frightening. Is Reese calling for 2 camps or people in the audience? No, not in any way that I'm aware of. I have not experienced that at all. Some people made reference to camp this or camp that, but I don't believe that either of us had a lot of wouldn't want that at all. I just don't see that. Deborah Rivers says, "What do I need to go back and listen to? I missed something." Start on Welcome to the Show. About 1,530 1-hour videos back. If you start on that one, I went over to Relatable Reese's last video. I popped over there. That's the video that we're making reference to. We did a live feed together, and I thought it was nice. Yes, we do finish each other's sentences. And
even when I don't, I know what he's saying. I know what he's thinking.
We make a point of not doing it in public more often than not. But when we're alone, it would probably freak you out. I gotta know.
How does Johnny do with tooth pain?
Do you even have it? When's the last time you had any tooth pain?
Forever. I have great teeth. I was blessed. I don't like toothache. I don't like headaches. I don't like backaches. But everything else, bring it. I know it's weird, but it's how I am.
TDK for life. Camps. Because Reese had come over here and we had a conversation, and then I had gone over there. There are small segments within the audience. Small segments, not the vast majority or anything like that. That decide that they hate me because I've treated Reese in such a way that makes them upset. Oddly enough, there'll be another group of people who think the exact opposite, and they will voice their opinion. Sadly, these opinions, they're not going to dissuade myself or Reese or anyone else, but people on the periphery, the people that say, "Oh, wait, what happened?" and then see that one, it doesn't take much for people to really get the wrong idea, right? It's people will leave comments on videos that I did to chastise me. I can't believe you're advocating for this. And I got to write back and go, you didn't.
I got that in the Wall Street Journal.
Yeah. You didn't watch this, did you? You just read the title and then commented on that. When you stood up,
Mischief Managed says, when you stood up in your jacket and tie and shorts. There's a scene in the show, in the reality show, where I'm in a board meeting.
Right.
I stood up and I had, what are you looking for?
My water.
Listen, it wasn't my shirt or tie. We came up with the idea on the fly, and I sent the picture to Bree, and she said I looked like a chief from a tribe somewhere. They pulled out and stuck him in a jacket and tie. And didn't look or feel comfortable in it.
Yeah, I can see that.
Which is funny because I lived in a suit and tie for
but how long ago was that?
A long time.
That's more his outfits. Member for 1 month. Shocked every day how much here I relate to. Well, you're one of us. And there's really something to that. Vic Klinko. Tammy says, I was amazed at how many hot sauces that guy had in his house. And every day.
Zelda, you're awesome.
And every day it grows. That's the farm boy way. Walk through the walls. Is there just, hey, Kool-Aid. I've said it before and I'll say it again. Normal is boring. I imagine a world where everyone exactly the same. No thanks. Well, I've never fit that mold. And I believe that less people are normal, certainly, than those of us who are unique. And I am, without a shadow of a doubt, unique. It is what it is. I've seen it 100 times. And Johnny, of course, is more unique than anyone. He has issues.
Susie Q likes having me as a guest on the boat.
Yeah.
Just saying.
I also go over on the I've probably done a lot more on your channel than you've done on mine.
Tomorrow you'll be on mine.
I will be over there tomorrow hurting myself for the enjoyment of all of you sick people.
We might actually tomorrow.
Were we talking about the Packy?
I think Pocky might be in order. We also have some things.
You're familiar with
Mr.
the Packy
Brown?
stuff, right? You know, I don't think it killed somebody. Everybody else just thinks it killed somebody. All right. Johnny. Do not look like he's in pain. He looks calm. Well, he uses capsaicin as a painkiller, as an analgesic, and it works.
For real.
It works for him. I mean, you have to melt your face off and your eyes have to turn really, really red, like they're going to bleed.
You get used to it.
Sure. I could probably get used to drinking gasoline if I really had to. Doesn't necessarily mean I would want to do it. He does look calm. You are funny. I'm taking a picture of him. I might even video him the next time he's in his element. These, flashbacks to trying to make everything right as kids. Like that's something that a lot of people, you're so right with the triggering for parents fighting. I had to get up and make pancakes after you're live with Reese. I was feeling super anxious. Pancakes fixed that. Christina, I'm really sorry that happened. And I honestly, when I went on there, I was trying to, I wasn't trying to stir stuff up or anything else. I hate the camp thing. I hate that there are people that think, that I don't like her. She doesn't like me. It's frustrating. So, yeah. Tommy, I apologize for making a comment that I had no idea about what it really takes to understand people. Thank you for explaining to me the reality. Thank you. I know, you know what, Henny? I don't know the comment you're talking about, but I'm very happy if something explained it to you. Henny, you've never written anything that bummed me out.
That's not what you said earlier. I'm kidding. He didn't say anything.
He is such a tool.
I do.
I mean, honestly,
I thought even as I'm like, should I do this?
Yeah.
I'm gonna do it anyway.
Yeah, I'm just gonna throw him under the bus, like
You're loved, Henry.
like Heather at the bank. Heather and I could have been something. I mean, she really liked me. I thought there was a chance. But Johnny
Did you hit my leg for a reason?
No. Johnny Scoville decided to ruin that before it started. I won't tell you how he did it because you would lose some respect for him if you thought that he did what he did. Johnny, what you just said about you're making me sound damaged, that was your perception talking. It's not what he said. You see what I mean? Oh, is that? Are they talking to you or me? Was that a Johnny or Tommy?
Your ball. I feel like I'm in a session all of a sudden.
I can get
I'm
a
checking on the fire. It would have to be your ball.
I can get a good look at a butcher by sticking my head up a T-bone. No, that's not it. It would have to be your bowl. Sometimes my mother will screw up our names, so I answer to Johnny all the time. Paula says I get defensive over you and the boat. I appreciate that, but let me tell you something, guys, and I think this is important. I really do. I think this is important. I spent a really, really unique 45 years, right? And I'm not trying to sound cool or anything like that by any stretch of the imagination, but you've seen characters like this in movies, right? People that do not adhere to social norms in any way. They get together early in the day and they decide what laws they're going to go break to do what, right? That's a very, very unusual way to live. And there are people who are never going to get over that. And I'm not even mad at them. I'm really not. The people that say, screw those junkies, I get those people. The fence sitters, the ones that are not hot nor cold, those are the ones that I can't stand. The ones that'll say, oh, you know what? I think it's courageous what you're doing. And in the next sentence, they'll be describing someone and they'll say something along the lines of, oh, you do know that guy was charged with a felony, right? He's a scumbag. You can't trust this person. And you're sitting there going, yeah, no, that's me. Okay? But I was charged with 30 of them. There are people that are never going to forgive us, all of us, for the drugs you did, for the lies you told, for the things that I did. That's just a reality. And it's going to be a reality for the rest of the time that that you're sober. Having game plans, right, on how to deal with that, making sure that you're journaling massively is really important too. He looks calm, says Roxanne. Well, I'm telling you, you got to catch him when he's doing his rigs, trying to remove a man's
It's been a
head.
long. Oh, come on, man! It's been a long time.
It has been, but that's because I was incarcerated. I never ate cereal as a kid. Oh no, how is that possible?
One of my favorite things even now.
Yeah, no, cereal is a really good thing. No, I'm surprised by it. I'm a fan. I am an absolute. You love the Cheetos vids? I meant to say something to Reese.
I threw them out.
Did you really?
Yeah.
Yeah,
I said, "You want them?" You went, "No, throw them out." You
I
remember
don't.
saying that?
I might have said I don't want them. I said throw them out.
I think you said throw them out.
No, that's not what
Okay,
happened.
if I want me to go retrieve them, are you going to eat them? You wanted me to throw them out, man. They're vile.
Like the eclair. No, man, I'm not doing that. I don't do
It's on the top.
I don't do garbage, and I don't double dip. I double dip. I can't back that up. If nobody is seeing, yeah, I'll just go like this. If no
I'll
one's
stick a
watching,
finger in. I don't even care if I have a chip. It is what it is, people.
you put your finger in the dip.
You're going to triple dip? What's the difference?
A finger?
You're not. You think you're not getting a finger in there when you're double dipping?
If somebody walks up,
here's the deal: when you take a chip and you bite the chip, you have a small chip left. You don't think you're getting your finger in there when you're double dipping? Come on. Come on.
You understand what I'm saying? Absolutely, Taekwondo. Please announce your channel, and if one of the blue wrenches sees that, can you put the link up too? Please do announce your. Diabetes prevents me from eating Captain Crunch. I regard this as an error on the part of the Almighty. I can see that.
Worded well.
Yeah.
Great one. Can
yes.
I? Yeah, you bet.
Announce your channel, please. Please. And I'm glad. I mean, that the goal is pretty big that way. You know, that is what we're looking for. I do believe, I really wholeheartedly believe that the opposite of addiction is connection. And it's thank you, Chrissy. And it's just important that we that's something that we continue to work on. That's just something that, you know what? Everybody, Johnny's going to finish this up. I'm Captain Tommy Scoville, and that is my cat. Something came up here real quick, and I'm going to have to take care of.
All righty. Yes, sir. All right. So I'm going to sit here and chew the fat with you guys just for a moment. I'm going to go be my brother and see how he's feeling. Everything is good. Don't you worry about a thing. I hope you guys have a great night. Love you. Thank you for being here between now and the next time we meet. Try to save somebody. I'm Johnny Scoville, and this was The Lifeboat. Love you, Spanx. I'm taking care of your dad.